Contrary to what a large majority of people may think, there are waves in the Mediterranean coast, and especially in the coast of Barcelona. We have the environment, we have the beach, we have the maritime funds, which are essential for a good surfable and rideable wave, but definitely the biggest problem is the lack of swells. Here in the Mediterranean coast, surfing is perhaps the most suffered sport because we cannot practice every day or every week. Here we have an average of between 120 and 150 days per year of surfing. In surfing, we have a handicap. We know that the forecasts and the weather conditions are the ones to dictate when and where we are going to surf. Nonetheless, here in the Mediterranean, we have passion for surfing and we don't have swells. There is a real lack of swells. We need to surf more. Surfing has grown a lot in terms of popularity around the world. The data that support this fact are that in 2010, the annual revenue of the surfing industry was 6.24 billions. And in 2017, the annual revenue of this industry increased a lot, with $13.2 billion that year. This means that the economical growth of this industry has been amazing. Also, a data that supports this fact is that next year, by 2020, the next Olympic Games will include, for the first time ever, surfing as a sport. So, if we have to define the biggest problems, amongst others, are the lack of swells and the everyday more crowded beaches here in Barcelona. As we have said, the popularity of surfing has increased the surfing community here in our city. This is beneficial for our surfing community as surfing is being more represented. Nonetheless, there is more people in the water, so the practice of the sport is more difficult. So now you will ask yourselves, what is being done actually to solve the problem? And the answer is nothing. Actually, there's a company in Spain called Wave Garden. They are from the Basque country and they make wave pools for surfing. Nonetheless, here in Spain, they only have a prototype to improve their main product, and there is no wave pool open to the public yet here in Spain. But before explaining our solution, we would like to talk about the collected data in a survey we launched on Google Forms. All targets were accepted, people of all ages and groups of surfers and non-surfers. The 77.8% of the people who answered do not consider surfing as their main sport, while the 22.2% practice it. The 68.5% of the boaters would like to surf more than they do, and an 81.5% thinks that a wave pool in Barcelona would be a good initiative. In terms of crowding, 53.7% of the boaters opted for a positive effect in the Mediterranean coasts, thinking that an artificial wave pool would empty them. Notwithstanding, 46.3% thinks that an artificial pool would create more fans of the sport, so the beaches could be even more crowded than they already are. In the last question, all the given options were selected, but the choice with most votes was the one that reflected the big majority of participants, the non-surfers. It makes sense because they chose going eventually to the wave pool to experience what surfing is. We also can see that a 14.8% would have an annual pass, and that a 24.1% would eventually go to practice their surfing. Only a 16.7% of the votes were addressed to the option of never going to the wave pool. Also, among the boaters who don't usually surf, a 60% would like to surf more. And of that 40% who think they don't want to surf more, the 47% of them said they would at least go to the pool to try what surfing is. And also, the 40% of boaters who think a wave pool wouldn't be a good initiative would go at least to try what surfing is in an artificial pool. So we can say that the overall response of the public was very positive towards surfing and the surf pool in Barcelona. Our project consists in a wave pool in lake format that would imitate perfectly the sea waves. Our intention is to create a complement to the ocean, but not a substitute, because we think that substituting the ocean is impossible. The Barcelona surf pool is a proposal that does not aim for simplicity. Its objective is to take advantage of the Barcelona atmosphere, the Mediterranean weather, and the growing awareness and interest in people towards surf and become an identity stamp for locals and tourists. Our project is thought to attend the needs of all the publics, from beginners to surfing professionals. They will be able to enjoy and practice surfing in our wave pool. That's because our advanced system of wave creation is able to create waves of different sizes and different intensities. So, as it would happen in the ocean, people will be able to surf their surfing level. It is intended to offer to the customer a unique feeling, making the surf pool an unforgettable place, encouraging surfers of all levels. As we have said, surfing is a trend that doesn't seem is going to deflate. For this reason, we think that wave pools are the future, not because they are going to substitute the surfing in the ocean, but because a complement to it is a perfect tool for practicing. The next Olympic Games will be in Tokyo, and the surfing will be celebrated in a natural environment, in a beach. Nonetheless, maybe the next Olympic Games after Tokyo won't be celebrated in a country that is near to the ocean. That's why we bet for the option of the wave pool, as there will be no other option if surfing wants to continue being an Olympic discipline. Our pool will be set in Barcelona or surroundings, and we want to insist a lot in the localization of our project, because we have references of a wave pool project that was supposed to be situated in a town here near Barcelona. Nonetheless, the project was completely rejected by the town government where it was going to be situated. And it was because of the fear of the population for the environmental issues and the touristification of their town. Even though we have the same project idea, our spot will be completely different. We want to give to the solution a completely different perspective. Our intention is to establish an artificial surf pool in Barcelona or surroundings too, but in this case in a spacious zone focused on sport activities with several spaces dedicated to rugby, tennis, and a sportive park or a huge soccer field. Also, to add value to our localization proposal, the spot where the pool would be situated is a spot very well connected to Barcelona by public transport, with several ways to arrive to the place. Furthermore, it is near to a shopping mall. So we could say this is the perfect context for our project, being next to a shopping mall, being part of a sportive area, and being very well connected to Barcelona by public transport. The design of our project is the latest technology appearance in the wave pool market. It consists in a 1,400 ton plunger that moves up and down to create a ring of water that expands. It is similar to when throwing a stone in the water. The impact of the plunger creates a circular ripple that propagates itself. The wave is created with the help of this plunger and the lake bed, which contributes with its angles to generate the rideable soliton. This kind of pool will create 4 rideable waves simultaneously that will break to the left and to the right. In terms of frequency, the system will produce groups of 3 to 6 waves with a gap of 6 seconds between waves. The system is able to reach the creation of 2,400 waves per hour, and the capacity of the system is at least 200 people each hour, mixing surfers and learners. For all these reasons and many others, we think this is the best solution for our management case.